everybody, and thank you for the support on my last video. It has gotten enough traction, good views, good, really everything on it, and I'm gonna take this time to create a part 2. Now, there may not be a part 3. I'm gonna use this video to talk about how I was harassed and, you know, interrogated by 3 Golden Nation members. Well, technically not Golden Nation members, but Directorship team members for making the last video. Now, before I speak about the, directorship members and how they investigated and or interrogated me, I'm going to say a couple disclaimers. First off is that this video is not intended to harm and or offend anybody of any race, ethnicity, or otherwise. Please take everything said in this video with a grain of salt. And also that your discretion is advised. To anybody who is a directorship member or a Golden Nation member who eventually sees this video, if you guys do try to ban me, harass me, interrogate me, or whatever yet again, all you're doing is giving me free content to make another video about you and ruin your reputation even more. Please do not try to do that. It's very annoying, honestly. Anyway, I'll now be listing the 3 Gold Nation members. First off, his name is Trayton. Now, Trayton is a very good guy, and he's deputy director. I feel like his hand was just a little bit forced by his higher-ups and even the people lower than him at Gold Nation. And most of this wasn't really his, true fault. He did try to vouch for me. And I do remember that, Trayton. Thank you, man. You've been an OG since day one. Next up, we have Caleb. This dude is genuinely so immature and, a bad directorship member that at the time of recording and, these interrogations, he was an assistant director at Gold Nation. But this dude got so mad after interrogating me, and I, was very logical. I was asking for, many valid things, legal-wise and all that. When he did interrogate me, he did get extremely angry with me after I didn't give him any information to act on, about my people or whatever. And he proceeded to, vouch to get me banned. I was told this by somebody else. I'm not going to say their name. Thank you to the other person who did, help me out there. But they were vouching to get me, banned. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. Next up, we have Stuna. This dude has been a little bit of a character, to say the least. He's like a combination of Caleb and Trayton. He was pretty much just Caleb in the start, very immature, very mean, trying to force me to give up the information, which I never really did. But towards the end, he did get more well-mannered. He did realize, that he did screw up, and he did apologize. So, thank you for that. But now I'm going to get into, after I just explained these directorship members who investigated me, the interrogations. There's a total of, I'd say, about 3 total. Okay. These investigations, one of them, which are the quote-unquote first 2 interrogations, not investigations, my bad, were about that first video. The third interrogation was quote-unquote about me tampering with evidence, which I never did. But not tampering with evidence, they said I tampered with the past investigation, which was not true. And there was one of my people that I interviewed who did snitch on me about it, which I, still do remember that, and I'm not going to name drop him. But just say this, you didn't really help out anybody, and you didn't even save your own skin, by the end. Anyway, the first interrogation, now, I did have clips of all the interrogations, but unfortunately, my phone, which I was on, because I was literally at school, by the way, it did not record the Discord audio, so those clips are useless. unfortunately. I have like over an hour of clips of it, not gonna lie. But pretty much in a nutshell, in that first interrogation, they were full pressing me, trying to get me to say something which I wouldn't be able to take back and, build a case against me because I was their only lead. And if they got something out of me, then the entire investigation wouldn't have to go as far as it did. It only went as far as it did because I didn't give up any information on the people I interviewed to the people that were involved with making these videos. I didn't give them crap, and they had to apparently quoted by the way, Trayton and the other two assistant directors had to go through 3 hours of logs to figure out who I interviewed, and they did end up banning one of the people who I interviewed, and I'm not gonna name drop him even here, but he was a great dude who genuinely had his quote unquote job, and you know, they exiled him from Gold Nation roleplay for just speaking his mind on a interview, which is honestly kind of, sad to, the people that were at Gold Nation decided they would ban somebody over their opinion. Continuing on, the second interrogation was mostly them trying to get the quote unquote facts straight and get me to review more, which I did shut my mouth and I told them that due to privacy laws and content laws, I cannot disclose the names of the people that I, you know, interviewed. I was not able to disclose their names, their identities, their profile pictures, anything to them. And they tried to threaten me, saying they would ban me for it. That was pretty much the second interrogation in a nutshell. I gave them nothing due to privacy laws and content laws not allowing me to. The third interrogation was mostly about how I quote unquote tampered with the last investigation that they hosted. And their evidence was DMs that I had with the first interviewee that, eventually ended up snitching on me. And they were saying about how because I told him to change profile picture because I didn't like the profile picture he had on, like, respectfully told him to, that was declared evidence against me tampering with the investigation. And they tried to use that as an excuse to get me banned, but I got saved yet again. Um they also did try to push me for more information on all that, but the DMs were effectively not proof at all. They didn't even have the authority to do any of that. And they also broke Gold Nation policies by doing, the things that they did. So anybody who's in Gold Nation that's watching this, go make an investigation. That would be goated. That was pretty much the three investigations that happened in total. Now I'm gonna go to what I like to call a quote unquote post investigation. Now this wasn't really a formal investigation. This was Jake Golden, asking me a couple questions after in a VC. I'm gonna start from the beginning. Right after these two investigations, right, I already started editing this video, by the way, that you are currently watching. He sent me a DM asking me if I'd like to join a VC. I say, sure, because, I was bored at the time, I was editing, I might as well. I joined the VC, and he starts asking me questions about the last video. I keep my facts straight, I'd, say the truth to him. And then he brings up the fact that the day that I got promoted in the Gold Nation HRI position, not Gold Nation, my fault. Gold Nation roleplay's HRI position. That was the day that he promoted me. Now, Jake Golden, if you're watching this video, I'm gonna say this. You didn't necessarily promote me. I was a community member at the time. I mean, you could take it as a promotion, which thank you, Jake. You were actually a great guy, but you unfortunately got caught up in this. You were saying how I promoted you. Fuck. I can't speak, man. But you were saying about how you promoted me to HRI when I didn't really get promoted. I was a community member, and then you told me that there was interviews going on after you brought me to a VC, dragged me, and you saw that I was doing good role plays. I knew the rules and all that. You asked me if I wanted to become a staff member, and I said only if there was a high rank available. And then he pointed me in the direction of the interviews, which I did ace, and that's how I got into the staff team in the first place. Um, you know, thank you. But that's mostly it up until this point of making this video. Thank you for staying this long into the video. If you like and subscribe, that would be great. It supports my work. And honestly, it gives me a little bit of motivation to make these videos faster, longer, all that. Now, I'm going to explain what happened to me after the investigations. Now, pretty much in a big summary of what happened after the investigation was I got demoted, permanent rank lock all the way to corporal, and I kept my spot on the server unbanned, obviously, because I was going to lead state SRT, which was the only person in that server that was qualified to lead the state SRT, which is a subdivision. It's a SRT division. If you like it, you should go join it. I do host tryouts every once in a while. I will be making more ERLC style content in the near future. I have a couple videos actually prepared about a couple other servers and playing in ERLC, the experience. So if you guys are looking forward to that, please drop a comment. That's really all I have to say for this video. Hope y'all have a good day. Sometimes